right, joining us on the program now, PKD Nambiar, political analyst and someone who supports the BJP. We're also going to be joined in a moment by the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson as well. But PKD Nambiar, let me kick this off with you. Is the Aam Aadmi Party now pretty much taking up the entire opposition space? You could say it's a vacuum created by the Congress. But, you know, when you look at a state like Himachal Pradesh and the fact that the Aam Aadmi Party seems to be not wasting time in a way that we've actually seen the BJP do far more than any other political party. How do you see this?
No, I agree with you that I think the aggressive approach of Arvind Kejriwal is very something like we have only seen it in the BJP in the past. And his nationalists, I'm very ambitious when it comes to the national approach. The only thing is that it may be a little impractical and very too fast. He wanted to grow. That may not be the.
But look at the Punjab example.
No, I agree with you. See, you also need to, in the same speed, you also need to understand Uttarakhand, UP, and also in Goa. And the kind of portrayal the Aam Aadmi Party did that in Goa, they are going to sweep the election, and so as in Uttarakhand. But in both the cases, almost 90-95% of the places, they lost even the जैसे कहते हैं ना जो जमानत भी जब्त हो गया था. So the idea is that it is important to note that they are trying to replace Congress as an opposition, and he wanted to portray that he is the real opposition who can take on BJP. From that point of view, So
you're saying it's messaging over actually making political gains on the ground. Jasmine Shah, would you agree? We get a different option.
So this is this is just a narrative which will not work for long. So, and to my good friend, I think it's very wrong to say that if you have, look at whether it is Delhi or in Punjab, where AAP has actually grown in the space of Congress. So if you really look at it in Delhi, BJP has only grown, not even lost even a 1% of its vote share. So wherever Congress is weakening, of course, there is a space which is created. And if Arvind Kejriwal as a master politician is trying to gap that, it is pretty good. But in the meantime, you also need to understand the narrative of Kejriwal, Bijli free, that free, this free. These kind of a politics will not last for a long. At the end of the day, you also have to deliver. So you are saying in 20 days, the entire corruption in Punjab is over. Do you think anybody whomsoever is eating a rice or a chapati will ever be able to believe that? So this is something like trying to be like a messiah, that I am the anti-corruption movement. Whereas I am a person who lives in Delhi. I have seen that 15 years of
Sheila Dixit. I
have not seen any kind of a development in Delhi. Anybody whomsoever is living in Delhi will not say that any kind of a development. What they only talk about.
But PKD Nambiar, let me just ask you a quick last question. Do you think the BJP should worry, given the kind of numbers we've seen at the AAP's first foray into Gujarat, just in terms of the crowd response they've got? Once again, in Himachal Pradesh today, would you say for a smaller state, are they getting traction already? Some kind of traction?
I think any new political party with a new narrative comes in. There are some X amount of people who are generally in political term we call ambivalent people would have some kind of an interest towards them. But to reach to a mass political force in a place like a Gujarat or even for Himachal Pradesh or for that matter, I think Arvind Kejriwal and his team should show some more patience. I think it is not a baby is always delivered in 9 months. I think they are trying to make it at 5 months. That is too much of a greater ambition, and there is nothing wrong in being ambitious, but on a practical way it is simply not possible. Yes, it is going to be the loss of Congress wherever Arvind Kejriwal is going and trying to grab some space. See, look at, and while they were saying that most of the people in Arvind Kejriwal's team is coming, the non-political people, that is absolutely not true. The Ashok Tanwar, who is the former PCC president of Haryana, has joined this party, and so many people who had left Congress, most of them are who had left Congress, or those people who have been thrown out of those parties. So
you're saying they're not as different from other political parties as they claim to be. Fair enough. Presumably you need some...
Party is not koi doodh ka dula hua nahi hai.
Okay, all right.
becoming very,
All right,
very
we
clear.
take your point about that. Jasmine Shah, quick last question. You know, there's been so much talk about how the opposition doesn't have a narrative. Do you believe that the Aam Aadmi Party is finally providing some kind of narrative?
You know, on all these issues, why is Aam Aadmi Party the only party talking about
Where is this money is going to come from?
BJP is only talking
Where is the
about
money is going
Khalistan.
to
You
come
saw
from?
it. Just 2 days before the election, the only issue that bothered them is some imaginary Khalistani debate. And I think the contrast today in front of the people of the country, please don't get agitated. हम करेंगे अपना काम. आपने 75 years तक इस देश को लूटा है.
All these money is going to come.
Your only narrative is that you are as bad as us. Sorry, you may be bad. I'm glad you're accepting that you are bad and corrupt. But we stand for change, we stand for hope, and the people of the country will decide.
We'll leave it at that. Thank you both. PKD Nambiar, Jasmine Shah, thank you for joining us on this.